Welcome to Coffee and an Interview. I'm Jacqueline Pena, and I'm here today with Prajakta Apte to talk about gut health. But before we get started, let me thank you first for being here with me today. Thank you for taking time out to speak with me about this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. It's really been my pleasure and honor to be here as your guest on your podcast. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, thank you so much. And I've already learned so much from you, and I hope everyone listening will learn as much as I've been learning. But before we get started with this whole gut health conversation, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? You're a functional medicine dietitian and a holistic nutritionist. What does that even mean?
Okay, so I am a registered dietitian and a registered yoga teacher as well. And I have been working as a functional dietitian nutritionist for the last 15 years. I have a holistic nutrition consulting practice. I'm based in Phoenix, Arizona, and I specialize in gut health. I help people struggling with digestive issues resolve their problems and help them reconnect with their gut so they can live a symptom-free life. Now, to answer your question, as a functional medicine dietitian and a holistic nutritionist, I like to find out and treat the root causes of the problem. My philosophy is to understand what the root cause of the problem is or causes to the problem that person is struggling with, and do not just simply put bandages over their symptoms, because at one point that bandage can come off and person can get into the symptoms again, even could be more symptoms than what they are struggling before. So identifying the root cause and triggers to their problems is extremely important. Now, as a functional medicine dietitian, I translate the scientific evidence based information. And of course, my niche is gut health. So scientific evidence information about gut health and nutrition. And I put it into practice with my clients. In addition to diet and nutrition, I also look at many other aspects of my clients' lifestyle, including their sleep habits, their digestion, the sources of stress in their life, the medications and supplements that they take, their physical activity level, the source of joy, how much time they spent in nature regularly, whether they are being exposed to any environmental toxins. All those things need to be taken into account as a functional medicine dietitian and to have a holistic practice. And each one of these aspects have a profound effect on our health. And functional medicine dietitian and nutritionist are trained in the cause and the effect of each of these, and we are trained on how to address them with our clients.
Wow, there's so much involved in what you do. And I would have never thought about source of joy and environmental toxins and all these other things in looking at our health and nutrition and gut health. And I know a lot of listeners are wondering, why are we talking about gut health today? But you'd be surprised. I didn't realize how important this was and how complex of a topic. And so actually, before we start talking about what is gut health and defining it, can you tell us, how did you even get into this journey specifically around gut health?
Sure. Basically, when I started my career, of course, I was a registered dietitian, and I just want to get out in the world and kind of get practice and get my name out. And I started my career working in the local hospital as a clinical dietitian, taking care of inpatients there. And then a few years back, while I was still working in the hospital, my husband started with some digestive issues. And initially, of course, they were not really a big deal. But then eventually, in few months, we realized that this is kind of ongoing and it is kind of affecting in different areas of his life. So I decided to kind of, deep dive into this as to why he is suffering and why he has been struggling every day, and why he feel bloated all the time, and why his energy is poor, and all those questions just started coming off my head. And that's what made me get into this specific area of gut health. And I did a lot of research and read a lot of articles. I took some kind of specialized courses to learn more about it, because I really wanted to get to the root cause of his problems, because I knew that he is suffering, he's struggling every day, and I really wanted him to feel better inside out. And when I was into studying myself, trying to help him, it actually developed a lot of interest, and I realized that how important it is to keep our gut health strong and healthy, because it is a seat for many, many medical problems, and it can affect the various areas of our health. So, I literally, he's feeling much better now. He's completely free of his symptoms. But definitely after doing that research and even helping him have control on his symptoms, I knew that this is doable, and this is something we can change and kind of take complete control over our health. So this is what made me get into this area, and I have been still kind of learning, studying every day, because it's a science, and every day there is something new comes up, and you need to kind of understand that and put together in the practice to help people feel better. So I love what I do.
Wow, that's love. Your career transition because you were trying to help your husband. That's love.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yes.
In terms of gut health, so you went on this journey because of a struggle at home, and you went in this path of gut health and this medical journey. Now, when we talk about gut health, a lot of us are used to seeing these commercials where people in the gym take this vitamin, take this. And we don't really know what gut health means. What is gut health?
Okay, so there is a lot of awareness coming along these days because of the studies and science, what is revealing every single day, and everyone knows that it is important to have a healthy, balanced gut. But again, it is definitely not just taking probiotics every day and taking supplements every day. This is beyond taking supplements and taking a good probiotics. Even if you are taking good probiotics, it doesn't mean that you have a perfect healthy gut. So just to kind of understand the audience a little bit more, all human beings have a ecosystem inside our intestine, or inside our large intestine, I should say, called gut microbiome. And this is made up of trillions of microbes. These microbes are mainly various types of bacteria and yeast and fungi, and they are involved in functions that are very critical to our health and our well-being. Now, there are some good microbes and there are some bad microbes. Now, as long as we maintain a right balance between good and bad microbes, our health is perfect. We feel good. We have vibrant energy. We are in good mood. We are mentally stable. Everything seems to be really perfect. But when there is an imbalance, so when you have more of bad microbes and less of good microbes, or when your good friendly microbes are not healthy, then it occurs imbalance, because the bad microbes start to overpower the good microbes. And when that happens, then you start to notice that there is something not working good, or there's not something functioning good in my body. You may, for others, you may look fine, healthy, but inside you know that something is wrong, something is not going correct. And that is because there is an imbalance in your gut. So the early signs of gut imbalance could be, some of the digestive complaints. Some people have like constipation, bloating, irregular bowel movements, poor energy or brain fog, mood swings. Some may experience some skin problems like excessive acne or eczema. So these are some of the, first signs, and they are not necessarily the digestive symptoms. They could be completely non-digestive symptoms. So it is definitely important to keep our gut health strong. Now, one thing I would like to also talk about, because I specialize in gut health, some people get kind of a little bit offended maybe, but talking about poop is what I usually do, talking about the bowel movements. And a very, very early sign that you have a poor or unhealthy gut, you can identify looking at your poop. When you are irregular, or even if you are regular, but your bowel movements are not healthy, which means they are either loose, mushy, or maybe you're constipated, that's the first sign that something is off. A healthy gut equals a perfect bowel movement that looks like a banana.
Oh. I was about to say, what should it look like? Okay. So you're telling us we need to take time to look at our poop.
Yeah.
Look at our bowel movements to see.
Why not? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you are the person, you would know first that something is wrong with you even before your doctor, right? So I would say that if you start to pay attention to what your body is trying to tell you, or if you try to listen to what your body is telling you, you can take control over your symptoms. You can be proactive, and you can literally prevent yourself from getting into many, many major health conditions later.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. That's some good advice, something that we can all do. We might not all want to do it, but we should all try to do it once in a while to check on things, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
You already started answering this question, which were, what are some of the health issues? You talked about some skin issues. You talked about digestive issues. What are some other issues that could occur if we just don't have that right balance, if we don't have gut health?
Sure.
Because
so
I don't think we realize just how much can go on.
Correct. So, I mean, definitely some of the early signs and symptoms I already covered in my earlier question, that, it could be brain fog for some people, gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, or just irregularity with your bowel movements. Some people experience heartburn. Some people have headaches or migraines, or, skin problems. And again, as I said, they are not necessarily digestive symptoms all the time. They could be non-digestive symptoms, joint pain, psoriasis, or eczema. Those are, again, classic symptoms. Some people have depression and anxiety. So definitely those are also related to your poor gut health. But if this continues, if you have a long-term imbalance in your gut, that can definitely lead to many chronic conditions. And, some of those could be diabetes, high cholesterol, various gastrointestinal disorders, obesity, like people have difficulty losing weight in spite of, having a healthy diet or being physically active all the time. Some people experience autoimmune conditions like thyroid, hypothyroidism, or Hashimoto's, or rheumatoid arthritis is very common. So some of these are the long-term result of imbalance in your gut. Now, even some studies are now showing that there is a close link between our gut health and Alzheimer's and depression.
Really?
Yep. So it is your mental health is also dependent on your gut health. There is a connection between your gut and brain, and our gut and brain, they communicate with each other.
Because you mentioned a couple I hadn't even thought about. When you talked about depression, anxiety, I started thinking, wow, our mental health is tied to our gut health. And now you're talking about dementia and Alzheimer's and other conditions. And I don't think a lot of us realize how much our gut health affects the rest of our body long term.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm learning a lot more through this conversation. Every time I talk to you, I just learn more and more. And now I'm thinking, I'm thinking if I eat right, if I exercise, I'm one of those that's always like trying to eat better and exercise and just keeps gaining weight. And I definitely have to check my gut health. But we think we're doing the right things and we might not be. And so what can we do to improve our overall gut health?
Absolutely. So I always feel, and I always tell my clients that improving your gut health is like solving a puzzle. There are many different pieces to this puzzle, and I mean. Look at it this way, that when you are struggling with gut problems, these puzzles are scattered all over, and you need to kind of put those pieces together to complete this puzzle. And it's a journey. This is not something anyone can achieve overnight or in a week's time. People will take some time to kind of put their gut health back on track, and that is normal, because every one needs to think about is when you started to notice some symptoms, and you started to notice that your gut health is not healthy, or it's kind of there is an imbalance. That didn't happen overnight, so the healing is also going to take some time. So diet or nutrition plays a huge role. So one of that puzzle piece is the diet and nutrition. So I would recommend that you need to be focusing on your diet with no processed food. So definitely avoid all the processed food. Stay away from what we call it as standard American diet or a SAD diet, which is high in bad fats, loaded with sugar. It has very limited fiber. You want to get rid of that SAD diet. You want to focus on the foods that are in its most natural form. 70% of your diet should be plant-based. And the reason for that is the good friendly microbes in our gut, they require fiber. That's their food. They feed on fiber. And all plant-based foods have fiber, versus animal-based foods have no fiber in them. So you got to feed those microbes their food. Only then you are going to heal your gut. If you continue to eat more meat than more plant-based food, it's going to be a challenge for you to put your gut health back on track. Now, in addition to that, you want to stay off of sugars. You want to stay even away from artificial sweeteners, bad types of fats, such as trans fats, more focus, as I said, on the fiber. Fiber is a key here. If you have heard a concept of eat like a rainbow, or a phrase that says eat like a rainbow, what does that mean? That means that adding variety of color on your plate. Add variety when it comes to fruits, vegetables, because with those variety of color, you get different vitamins, different minerals, different phytonutrients. And that is a key to heal your gut, adding variety. Even if you are eating healthy foods, you're always making right healthy food choices, but there is not enough variety, you are still going to have struggle to improve your gut health. So those are the very important key points I would like to share here when it comes to diet and nutrition. Now, besides diet and nutrition, the lifestyle modifications are equally important, which I call it as other missing pieces of this puzzle. So stress management, because stress plays a huge role. Stress can be really a toxic to your body. It can build your toxic level, and that stress could be any stress. And I feel that in today's busy life, everyone has some kind of stress. So you don't really need to get into a panic attack to realize that you have stress. Everyone carries some level of stress. And that's why I feel that practicing some type of stress management technique is very important, at least for 5 to 10 minutes in your daily routine. Take some time off your schedule and focus on your stress management practices. It could be yoga, it could be regular meditation, or be breathing. It could be journaling. Some people like to journal and put their thoughts together on a piece of paper, and that's a good way of de-stressing. I would also say that developing a good sleep schedule to get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep is extremely important. Being physically active, at least 30 minutes, if not 30 minutes, at least 20 minutes every single day is very, very important. Staying away from toxic relationships in your life, or having positive mindset, reducing your exposure to different environmental toxins is equally important to, put your gut health on track.
If this were a test, I think I failed. You're mentioning sleep at least 7 to 9 hours. I'm definitely not doing that. Stay away from toxic relationships. I think I attract toxic people sometimes. I'm just being silly there, but I've been in some toxic situations, and so I'm looking at how that might have affected my gut health. I'm looking at whether or not I'm active 20 to 30 minutes a day. And because we spend even more time sitting down in this hybrid pandemic world, I don't think I'm getting that every single day. I mean, there's so many things. A lot of us go for some fad diets. For example, we might be more keto, and that's more meat than plant-based.
Yeah, sure.
And so how's the food I'm eating in order to be healthier and lose weight affecting me? So there's just so many things that you said that ring so true to me. And if this were a checklist and I had to get at least 70% of the items checked off to get a passing grade, I'm not getting the passing grade.
Hey, you know what? And again, nothing is going to change overnight, and nobody wants or nobody has to do everything at once. You probably want to take baby steps. So just focus on maybe just 2 things that you think you want to improve, and those new habits that you will be able to stick to them. Just focus on those 2 first. Don't worry and don't think about the other things. Maybe just make a list to put it on a piece of paper, so you know that, okay, these are the first 2 things I am going to change in my nutrition or in my lifestyle, and just focus on those, so that way you don't feel overwhelmed. Because overwhelming situation could be stressful. You could be feeling, very scared and not to take any further step towards your healing journey. So that's why take baby steps. And that way I feel you build confidence also,
That's great advice. And stress is one of the no-nos. You want to reduce stress in order to have gut health.
Exactly.
So stay away from stress. But I love your advice though, because right now you were going through all of this and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not passing. But then you said, don't do it all at once. Take baby steps. And for me, those baby steps would probably be, I'm going to aim for those 7 to 9 hours. I'm going to start reading before I go to bed, see if that helps a little bit. And I need to figure out how to ensure that I'm active 20 to 30 minutes a day. So I'm going to start there and then add on to my list so that I can improve my gut health.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, when it comes to exercise, just because you mentioned that, I would like to say, and this will be a good tip for everybody who's listening, but even if you can't find 20 to 30 minutes at once in your schedule, you can divide that into 2 or 3 sets. So you could do 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, or maybe 10 minutes 3 times a day. And that will be still counted as 30 minutes of physical activity, which is what the guidelines recommend. And, on weekends or when you have a little bit of a lighter schedule, you can add a few more minutes to, kind of compensate, or maybe just kind of get more activity in your daily routine.
Yeah, that's great advice too. Split up the activity. Yeah. So lots of steps for us to be able to get some of these things done. So, we've talked a lot about gut health. What is it? What issues come out of poor gut health if we don't have good gut health? And we talked also about some strategies to improve gut health. This is very informative. Thank you so much for all this information. I just want to say, I think you definitely, it's Friday afternoon. We're talking about gut health and looking at your poop as the first step. And And it's actually a very much needed conversation, at least for me in my life. But in terms of our interview here today, there's so much that you work with and so much knowledge you're bringing to the table. Is there something you want to share that we didn't get to talk about related to the work you do, gut health, or any aspect of this journey?
Sure. So I have a private consulting practice, and I do have a program. Is called Nurture Your Gut. That's the name of the program, and basically I help people struggling with, of course, digestive issues. I try to, through this program, I try to help them identify their own root causes and triggers to their problems, and then help them take the right action steps. The program will tell you why you need to make a change, because I feel that when any person knows that big why behind making a change or accepting new habit, it becomes much easy. It is not intimidating that you are doing something different, and it's not stressful. So the program teaches you that. The program talks about diet and nutrition that you can make changes with, but not just limiting to diet and nutrition. It will also kind of address different areas of your life, such as how to develop a good sleep schedule, what are different stress management practices, different types of exercise. And being a yoga teacher, I have a module that talks about different yoga postures that will help with relieving constipation or relieving your bloating, finding some reducing your stress and finding a connection between your mind and body. So there are various modules in the program, which is more of a comprehensive program. There are few testing that are involved as a part of this program, because when someone is dealing with digestive problems for some time, a lot of times people will develop food sensitivities, which means that you are eating certain foods in your diet, and they could be probably the healthy foods, but your body is reacting to those foods thinking it's an enemy, and that is all because of the imbalance that has occurred in your gut. And those foods definitely act as a toxins in your body, and even if they are healthy foods, they won't heal you, but they are more of hurting you. So those foods need to be eliminated for a short term in order to speed up this gut healing process. So my program talks about that, and basically we will able to identify what foods you want to focus on versus what foods you want to stay away from. So this is a complete gut healing program that will help you connect with your gut and kind of heal your gut. You will be confident after completing the program to kind of take a charge of your own gut health.
Interesting. So Nurture Your Gut, that's the name of the program.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I think I like how you're taking that holistic approach, going back to the beginning of the interview, because that's your approach, of course, but you're looking at all these different pieces that come together to promote gut health, and your program sounds like a wonderful program, Nurture Your Gut, for us.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, at this point, I just want to just say, we have so many great lessons from this conversation today. We talked about what is gut health. Again, we talked about what issues it can cause, things I never thought about, connections with even mental health, dementia, Alzheimer's, but also for those of us who are suffering from other things, whether it's rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, joint pain, headaches, migraines. There's so much connected to gut health we never thought about. And then we talked about some great strategies. And you made me feel better, because you said take 2 or 3 at a time. Right. You don't have to try it all. Yeah. Just grab some of these strategies and run with them, and then just add another 1 or 2 as you progress. And so it's great. And I love, don't forget to look at your poop at the end of the day and see how your gut health's doing. I think that's great advice as well. And of course, you shared some great resources for our listeners. These resources, including information on Nurture Your Gut, that's all going to be in the description section for this episode. You'll be able to see links to the website and to anything else that we've referenced today. And to Prajakta, thank you so much. I mean, this was a great conversation. I don't know if you have any final words to share as we close out our interview on gut health today.
I would like to say two things. One is, and this is for everybody, okay? I feel that when it comes to making food choices, we all need to be mindful about what we are choosing. And please choose the foods that will heal your body and not hurt your body. Also, another thing, what I would like to say here is, you are or your health is dependent on what foods you choose and how your digestion happens. So that digestion power is very important. So choose the right foods that your body will actually able to digest well, and that way you get the energy, you get all the nutrients, and you feel that you are in your best health.
That's great advice. And for me, that's great because I'm going to the supermarket tonight for my weekly grocery shopping. And so choose foods that heal your body, not hurt your body. Thank you for that. And thank you everyone for listening to this great episode on gut health. We covered a lot of ground here today in a short period of time. And Prajakta, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you so much, Jackie. It's my pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. And to everyone, check out the episode. If you missed any of it, Coffee and an Interview. If you want to learn more, check out the resources, coffeeandaninterview.com.